obviously the main thing that has happened this week was the stream that the devs did that I missed again because they always seem to know when I'm at work and they are too inconsiderate to, wait until I get home. I want to chat with them and ask where my red 9 is. Well, no, never happens. But they did talk about a lot of stuff with the stream now. I only managed to watch half the VOD. Haven't had that much time, but Cobra, you managed to watch the full thing, didn't you?
Yes, I've made some notes about what won't be happening. So it's mainly about what won't be happening at the moment, but obviously the normal fixes and bugs. So I can go into a bit more detail
Absolutely.
whenever you're ready.
Well, that's it. I mean, at first I was kind of like, obviously the stream, the title, kind of like, eye catching 120 delayed for the right reason. And they talked about 120 quite a bit. Talked about, what the update will entail. Obviously, we're supposed to get 5 updates this year. That's clearly not happening now, which is a shame. But they did talk about how they would rather wait and post and upload 120 after the new year because they don't want a broken patch through Christmas. Which, honestly, I respect a lot.
Yeah.
And I saw quite a few people actually pissed off with that. They're quite pissed off with the fact that we're not getting 120 this year. But I don't know. What do you guys think? What do you guys think?
I mean, I think I'm speaking for both myself and Cobra on this one, but I think that could have been their best choice they would have made, because one of the biggest things we've always talked about on the podcast is, keeping it in the oven longer when it comes to updates, or just making sure they're baked all the way through and everything's been accounted for and all your T's are crossed and all that kind of stuff, and just not releasing like unfinished content and then like making patches furthermore to kind of just, fix that throughout the year, because it has been something that's happened with some of the past major updates where they'll release and there might be a few things maybe broken or unadded, and especially 119 was, one of the more prevalent ones for that. Of course, like the Humvee having like the engine bay, that still need to be worked on and stuff like that. But I think, at a game development standpoint, there are goals that need to be met and there are timelines that they have to like adhere to, but also making sure to balance that like quantity versus quality as well. So
yeah, agreed.
Well, that's
I
it.
don't know. Do you have anything else to add to that, Cobra?
Well, I mean, no, I completely agree, mate. I'd rather see pleasing a whole community is always going to be impossible, but I'd rather have the best version of an update and wait a bit longer than have loads of shite and issues that make me then go, do you know what? I'm going to leave it until the next update. So, especially with a massive influx of all of the new Daisy players over the last like 6 to 8 months, So I think if they, the newer type players, which are happening every day, joining every day, if they come on and see a really broken game, then they're probably going to leave, aren't they? Let's be fair about it.
Well, that's it. Yeah, I mean, it's happened before and it'll happen again. I should rather say if an update comes out and it is broken to shit. So it is good that they are keeping it in the oven. It is good that they're wanting to get Christmas done with and done and dusted, And they talked about the Christmas update coming out in the next couple of weeks. I think it was about mid-December, I think they said. Which is good. I'll take that for our 5th update for the year. Because that will introduce a couple of things. Mr. Frankie, thank you very much for the $4.99 US. Honestly, I think they can't get every bug and glitch fixed because of the older engine. 2023 Dayz 2 with a brand new engine is the way to go, IMO. No. No.
I'm not going to say anything to that, Frankie.
Oh, but I am. No, but I would rather wait for Influx in a Yeah. I would rather wait, personally, for Infusion to be a lot more fleshed out, for Armor 4 to come out before we do, before they do anything. But yes. But Mr. Frankie, again, thank you very much for the $4.99. Much appreciated. But yeah, 120. Obviously, now we're going to have a little bit more time for it to be in the oven. They have already confirmed it'll be a stability update, kind of similar to what they done last year. But they did say, which I was quite surprised with, the roadmap. They're not going to be posting it until February, March time. I don't know if I like that. Personally. But
Yeah, because it is supposed to be a yearly roadmap, not a half-year roadmap, or
I just don't know. I just because I know this year's was delayed. It was supposed to be posted in January. It didn't come out. It came out in February. But I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and say it doesn't inspire confidence. But I'm just wondering what could be the possible delay for a roadmap. Maybe they don't know what they want to do, or maybe they have a lot to do.
or it could be that they're just trying to really solidify things, and plan them further.
Yeah.
Because they may have the ideas that are like the base foundation for their ideas, but they might want to, have further meetings to kind of discuss and organize things and make sure that everything is set in stone, maybe lore-wise or just within gameplay mechanics or anything like that, so.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. I mean, you can only imagine the internal conversations they're probably having each and every day trying to get everything worked out, like to red 9 or to not red 9 or,
Bruh, we will get that gun. We will.
That's what I'm saying. They're having arguments every day about it, That's all. That's the first meeting topic.
That's fair. I mean, I still want it. You know what?
We can hold hope, Boy can dream.
If they send me a big box that says "Here's your Red 9," it's literally just a PNG postcard of a Red 9, I'll cry, and I will put it up on my wall. So Scotty, if you're watching, please don't actually do that. I will cry. They're going to be fixing bugs until February anyway. Rightfully so. They've just come out with a new experimental build, which has got a couple of interesting things, which we will talk about in a moment. Mr. Frankie, I think roadmap is a bad choice. Letting us know about all the stuff they are going to drop and not delivering on it is bad. I can understand that viewpoint, actually. Yeah. Personally, it makes me excited when a roadmap is dropped, because I know what kind of stuff they want to do. But at the same time, Pettyweddy, thank you very much for the €5. Much appreciated. Thank you. But as we all know, grenade launchers are civilian weapons. So. They even laughed about that in the stream. It was ridiculous. But yeah, I thought it was a good stream. What did you think of it, Cobra?
Well, I'm glad they came out and cleared up a couple of the things that a lot of the community have been asking about. For instance, there's nothing new here, but let's just quickly go over some of the notes I took from that. No bikes. That's not coming anytime soon. That's agreed.
Yeah.
The bus ain't coming back. That ain't happening. Base building is not going to be a focal point anywhere near the 120 stage.
Yeah.
But after that, they did allude to, after that, possibly the following update, take a little look and wait and see what happens. So I assume that they may be at some point in the future next year, later on, going to be hopefully dealing with some of the additional base building issues. There was a really interesting thing that did come up in that, and this is about the bunker in Livonia.
Right.
What they were talking about, and I got this from Marx's recap on the dev stream.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the community was saying everyone is just base building and blocking off this bunker. And you know, their kind of viewpoint, which I completely agree with, by the way, was, well, we're not going to do anything about it. We're not going to issue rules or anything like that because it just ain't going to work.
Yeah.
But having said that, I think the community at large have a little bit maybe of a responsibility here together to go, right, okay, well, if nothing's going to happen about it, what can we do about it? So, I mean, for me personally, I will quite happily do a video running down there and blowing the shit out of a base that's there. I would have no problem doing that. So I think
yeah,
that's the answer. That's the answer, isn't it? Let's go
Absolutely.
down, plastic explosive up, and let's go and take them out. You know, that's quite simple. I mean, imagine this. We could have someone in the community, or even us. I tell you what, there's something that we can talk about in a bit.
Oh, absolutely.
For your bit on the live stream potential at some point, lad. How about this? We all hit a server once a week or once every 2 weeks, and if it's Livonia, we make an effort to go down to the bunker with some bloody plastic explosives and anything there we just blow up. There you go. Official servers, job done. Sorted. So anyway, so yeah, I mean, I do think what they come out with is very sensible, to be fair.
Yeah.
And I couldn't see half of that happening anyway. Not now, not anytime soon anyway. So, but I did want to. I've left a little bit. I suppose wanting a bit more. I was hoping for some little additional clues to be right in 2023. We may be looking at this or that. You know, I didn't get a lot of that, to be fair. So
No, there certainly wasn't a lot of that. They were very tightly lipped, which honestly I think is a good idea.
Yes.
But
I think there needs to be just a little bit. You need to give a little bit, don't you?
A nice little hint, just something. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, if they do enhance base building, fantastic. A lot of people's been crying out for that.
Yeah, it does need it. But they were focusing more on the vehicles, though, aren't they? On the vehicles we've currently got, and they're focusing more on stability issues for those, aren't they? So that can only be a good thing. So
yeah, I mean, it will be. I mean, let's face it. I mean, the new vehicle physics, they're fantastic. Obviously, not without their issues. And yeah, I mean, I know there's been a couple of times when I've tried to use a Humvee or a car, and you're in first gear or whatever, and you're hammering down the accelerator, you don't budge. Especially with the Humvee, it's pretty bad on the Humvee.
Yeah,
I've noticed specifically after you get into like an accident or something, or you get into a wreck. Even remember the one time when I was showing off when we were doing the drive-through with it on the on our episode, an experimental. I remember I'd hit something and just you could not move it, and you actually had to get out of the vehicle and get back in for it to work, which was really interesting.
Yeah, it was pretty annoying.
Yeah. See, I had this every time without even hitting anything there, Lemons. Every time you stop to a halt, you have to restart the engine. You have to get out, get in, restart the engine. So it wasn't just if you hit something or anything like that. The second you stop that vehicle, you are having to restart it.
Yeah.
Getting out, getting in. So yeah, that is a little bit of a nightmare.
It's a piss take.
Yeah. Can you imagine? You've spent hours and hours. You've probably raided a base or you found one of these Humvees, and then that there is the reason you get killed. Can you imagine that?
Oh mate, I would be foaming. I would be foaming.
And it would probably be to a freshie somewhere up in Brenner or somewhere where you've stupidly gone to fill up.
Yeah. Like,
and you've spent 2 days finding it. Yeah, that's what it'd be, wouldn't it?
Oh my god. Yeah, it would actually end up being like that. Oh damn. Honestly.
I'm sure that's happened. In fact, anyone
you know
online
what?
right now.
Has. Yeah, like if it's happened to you, then. But.
Send us your footage.
Please, yes, I wanna watch that. I wanna see that. But no, it was. See, base building. I mean, I'm looking forward to if they do actually focus on that. You know, there's been some good ideas in chat, and they can definitely take some inspiration from modding. But for like actual like building or preventing building in the bunker, I don't want to say the words upset because it's a game. but it would be a very, what's the best word to say? A silly choice to prevent you from building in that one particular location. I feel like if you've got a group that's big enough and you can pile together the resources and you want to reinforce that bunker, you should be allowed to. And if another big group who can also pile the resources want to take over that base, then they should. I see no issue with that.
I think it's an interesting conversation to have if you put it in line with building in Northwest Airfield on Cherno. Right, so think about this for a second. No one builds in Northwest Airfield because it will last 10 seconds, right? So how the hell are they lasting weeks and weeks and weeks on Livonia at the bunker? I know the player population is not as heavy as the Cherno population, but everybody who's got Livonia now knows where that bunker is. Is it a case that it's difficult to find plastic explosives or enough grenades? Now, obviously, since the 1.19 update, grenades have not been as abundant as they used to be.
Yeah.
But it's a strange old dynamic when you look at it like that. It doesn't take as long to get from the bunker from a spawn side than it does actually.
Especially if you're on Topland, like left-hand side.
Yeah.
If you get Topland spawn, it's smooth sailing.
You're straight down. You're literally down in 25 minutes. And if you think about it, Cherno, anywhere on the coast, on the south central or south west side, it's going to take half hour roughly for you to get to Northwest Airfield. So it's roughly the same, isn't it? But a massive disparity in how the maps are played, I think.
I would have said that it's probably more like Livonia is known to be more difficult. Obviously, the terrain is vastly different. The layouts and the loot runs aren't exactly perfected compared to Chernarus. So I would imagine that it would take a long time for it to go through. And as Buddy said, you need a punch card at winter. So even if you do raid, you've still got this massive hunk of a door to get through. And the only way you can do that is a punch card. So
yeah, you see, that's the other thing. So if you know where you're looking for that, it's not actually that difficult. Every stream I've been on Livonia, I've always ended up with a punch card every run. So,
and then, but there's also like, okay, like if the main door has got a fence around it, cool, you get through that, you got the punch card, the door opens. What if there's another fence? What if there's another 2 or 5 fences?
That's what they've been doing.
Well, that's it, yeah. So it's like, and if you're a big group and you go in, you have to massively, I would like to say, overcompensate the kind of like materials you need to get in, and that takes a long time, and that discourages people. But if you really want to get in, then you will. And I think doing that, or allowing that, create not only good content, but a good gaming experience on both sides, if they are both willing. If I was a lone wolf and I came across the bunker and it was locked off, it would be like, yeah, it would suck. Alright, let's go back to the top and let's find a group. Does anyone want to pile together? I've been down at the bunker. There's a base there. Do I want to get in? Cool.
Well, that is what's happening on Livonia now, which is great for interactions, because as we all know right now, the biggest problem on official servers right now is interactions.
Yeah.
Like I say, I mean, the last 2 streams I've done, 3-hour streams on Cherno and Livonia, I've only bumped into maybe 2 people who are freshies right at your spawn points. Other than that, you are really, really pushing it now to get good well, even any interaction, So, yeah. But they are when they are doing that though, community-wise. That I've heard of quite a few people at spawn points actually now talking about, shall we team up and go down and hit these places? Yeah. Which is nice.
I think it just promotes playability. I just think not being allowed to build in any location is a cop out.
Oh no, I agree. I completely agree. But that's what's the good. That's the
Yeah.
good side of official, isn't it? You can do what you want on official. It's only modded servers you won't be able to do that.
Yeah, well, if the server doesn't allow it, yeah.
Well, normally it's nowhere in 500 yards of a military zone, and that's a military zone, isn't it now? So
Yeah, well, that's it, yeah. That's
you ain't building. But official, do what you want.
Yeah. The way it should always be.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
What about you, Lemons? Because obviously, you know, Cobra and I, we've talked quite extensively there, but you're awfully quiet. Do you agree? Do you disagree? I want to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, I definitely agree with it, but I think there should be things put in place because I know, like Cobra is saying, they don't have any plans like to do anything proactive to kind of mitigate that issue of people like building bases in bunkers and stuff like that. But at the very least, I feel like some levels should have like the contaminated gas in it. At the very least, I know that's something we've talked about before.
Yeah, we have, yeah.
Or even having a chance of it like spawn dynamically or something like that. I think that alone could really benefit the whole situation because then it would kind of off-put people from wanting to build in there because there will always be that chance that there could be, gas in there. And there's definitely a few ways they go about implementing it, but I think just some sort of like environmental hazard would kind of just
there needs to be
deter players from doing that kind of stuff.
I will
or
say,
even like
yeah.
One big thing too is when they first added the POG files in, if you guys remember, like the description of them was like talked about how like they like didn't break, like they were supposed to be meant for like a security system or something like that, and they didn't like they were just like they misfired or something like that. One thing that blew my mind is they didn't incorporate that into the bunkers.
Interesting.
Because we could have seen this quote unquote security system in action, and then it would have given proper continuity to the POX files and why they were like being used. Because that was the big thing about them. It was like a failed security system where like they were supposed to go off on impact, but like one may not have, or whatever they had said originally. Like imagine like alarms going off in the bunker, and then those POX files going off. Imagine how scary that would be.
Oh, that would be terrifying.
I heard that you walked out again. I heard that you cried. Come this way, let me be a friend. My home's open.